Alright, so boom, turn me up, don't turn me down. We back at it with another video today. We got hockey psychology. We may never see this again. Before we start this video, link in the description to the original video. I want to check it out without my reactions. Subscribe to Hockey Psychology channel. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers. Y'all did it again. Back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. I can't believe this. This is insane, bro. I really wish I was reacting to the Stanley Cup finals last year. Y'all already know they was up 3-0 against the Oilers, and then the Oilers came all the way back, forced a Game 7, but then they lost a Game 7. This year, it was Panthers in 6. But let's see what Hockey Psychology got to say about that Game 6, man.
After the clinic that the Panthers put on in Game 5 to put the Oilers on the brink, they had the opportunity to win back-to-back Stanley Cups at home and keep the best player on the planet ringless for the second year in a row. We're witnessing NHL history with this modern-day dynasty.
So I've been seeing things on Twitter of people saying, like, Connor McDavid might switch teams and go somewhere else. Is that true, or is that just, like, clickbait? Like, let me know in the comments.
How did the
Panthers actually going to go to another team?
Final masterclass to shut down Edmonton, and what does this mean for the entire league moving forward? Let's take a deeper look. Now, biggest thing for the Oilers to start Game 6 is they got to score first. You can't be chasing against the Cats, and they actually come out strong. But like usual, Officer Bob, like he's done all series long, steadies the ship early. Then shit hits the fan for the Oil. Look at Ekholm here. He's had it rough the last few games. He's definitely battling through an injury, but look at this D-to-D pass. Buddy must think this is Nom because he sends an absolute grenade into the shin pads of Bouchard. That puts him in a brutal
hard-ass pass, man. He put too much power on it.
A little bit too laissez-faire, and here comes...
Like, when you, like, just right straight ahead, like, in front of him like that, like... soft pass, bro. He put too much power in that pass.
Because he sends an absolute grenade into the shin pads of Bouchard. That puts him in a brutal spot to handle this puck. Bouchard is also a little bit too laissez-faire. And here comes Samson Reinhart. Ekholm goes to pressure right away, and Reinhart says, "You reach, I teach, fella." Whoop! Learns a thing or two from the Rat King in Game 5. Ekholm turns to dust. Backhand, forehand, and Reinhart beats Skinner on a ridiculous effort.
I think we can all agree that goal was tough.
That
shit was nasty.
A shining example of how one tiny mistake can snowball into a disaster in a matter of seconds. No bueno if you're the Oilers, as once again they fail to score first and are chasing the game. Deja vu and the nightmare doesn't stop there.
I feel like that was the oldest problem the whole like Stanley Cup Finals. It was like they was just chasing to come back. You feel me? It felt like they was always just chasing to come back and take the lead of the game.
All series long, after all of our breakdowns, we've talked about how there's absolutely zero room in the neutral zone for Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl to cook in this series. The gaps of Florida are just suffocating, and Edmonton is at their best when they get controlled entries, so they're doing everything in their power to inflict their game on Florida, except that's not as easy as it sounds. So first, Draisaitl wins a 50-50 puck along the wall, and then is just smothered right away with pressure in his face. He tries to bump it to McDavid, and of course, there's someone right there too to just shut that down. Attempt number 1 is stuffed. Okay, so Edmonton goes back for more and tries to make a play at the blue line. Again, though, they're just met with a fantastic step up at the line to create a turnover. So now,
another turnover
Florida on the counter. Not so dangerous with it being a 2-on-3, but again, it's these tiny mistakes that can snowball into a disaster. And it starts with the read off the rush. Bouchard takes the man driving to the net. Draisaitl is going to cover the trailer, but the miscommunication between Wallman and McDavid ends up costing them. They both converge on the puck carrier. McDavid gets caught over back checking a tiny bit. That leaves Tkachuk wide open, top cheese, and it's 2-0 right at the end of the...
That's a second goal off of the turnover, though. That's crazy.
Period, which is
second goal off a turnover.
Edmonton has now allowed 2 or more first period goals in every single game of this cup final. That is not good enough. Aside from that, too, I thought Bobrovsky was lights out in period 1 when he needed to be. Not a ton of chances for Edmonton, but they did have some clean looks, and Bob just calmly turned it away. In the second period, it was more of the same. The Panthers look like Edmonton cooking off the rush. Edmonton still can't get anything going themselves. And then things go from bad to worse. Verhaeghe throws a floater from Pluto, and Skinner just doesn't control it. It bounces off of his blocker right to Barkov.
Oh, shit!
Adam banks it in.
Not a goal.
Off of Reinhart, and it's 3-0 late in the second period. Time is ticking.
I knew I wasn't going crazy when I reposted that tweet when they said Skinner was going to start. I'm like, is it GG's? I don't know. Something in me was saying that it was GG's. That's why you always go with your gut, man.
In for the Oilers. They now have 20 more minutes to try and avoid a repeat of last year, but the wall is too damn strong. And one guy I want to highlight who's been unbelievable in this series is Gustav Forsling. Matched up against McDavid pretty much every single game, there is no other defender in the world who can seemingly keep up with the raw speed of McDavid like he can. The way he was able to close gaps and keep 97 in check was just incredible. And in Game 6, it was no different. Every time McDavid stepped on the ice, Forsling was the wet blanket that suffocated him and Draisaitl all series long.
I seen one of y'all in the comments say the Panthers is like they just have Kawhi Leonard. It's like, if you don't know who Kawhi Leonard is, he's like great on defense. He's like one of like the in his prime, he was like one of like the best like defenders like in the NBA. They just got clones. The Panthers like they just got clones of Kawhi Leonard's. You feel me? And then it's like Draisaitl and McDavid, they just clamp them up, and it's like nobody else to help out for real. You feel me?
With 7 minutes left and Edmonton not being able
that
to
was a great way that, you know who you all put in the comment section. That was a great way you explained it.
Sam Reinhart gets the Hattie for the empty netter to officially seal this game. He did get another one later for his 4th goal of the night, but the clock winds down and history repeats itself. The Florida Panthers are back-to-back Stanley Cup champs, while the Edmonton Oilers and their fans are stuck experiencing a nightmare that they just can't wake up from. Gary Bettman hands out the Conn Smythe Trophy. Playoff MVP goes to Sam Bennett. Bennett the Menace.
I had this in the reaction, but the NHL blocked it. So if y'all see like a cutout, I think I explained it too. I think that part's still in the video, but they had cut it out when I had reacted to it. But yeah, Sam, he won.
Was unbelievable all playoff long. 15 goals, too. Most row goals in NHL playoff history, with 13 and every goalie's worst nightmare, most feared elbow in the playoffs, and a hell of a hockey player. Captain Sasha Barkov lifts the cup up for the 2nd year in a row, and the Panthers decide to let all the players who hadn't won it yet get the first skate around with the cup. 3 straight finals appearances, back-to-back championships, and all the makings of a modern-day dynasty. Now, to give you an idea of how dominant they were in these finals and all throughout the playoffs, just look at this. Plus 38 goal differential. They led for 51.4% of total game time and 61% in the Stanley Cup final.
61 though?
They closed out the first 3.
That's damn near. That's what? That's like a C in school? 61? They down there passing. Well, I think it's a 70. I mean, every school shit is different, but 61 though? Yeah, God damn. Shit. 10-3 on the road. Close out the first 3 rounds on the road. That is insane.
3 rounds on the road, and they had 6 20-plus point scorers. And when you think about what this means for the league, it will, if it hasn't already, fundamentally change both how teams play and how they will be constructed moving forward. The NHL is a copycat league, but teams will try to emulate the Florida model as much as possible. From their overwhelming forecheck to their unmatched depth, the Panthers are the standard of the league. The run that the state of Florida is on when it comes to hockey domination is something we may never see again.
Shark staff, take notes. I need to see us here next year. Forget 3, 4, 5 years. We need to be in the Stanley Cup Finals next year, bro.
And I know the state tax advantage will be a hot topic, but I still remember the Stevie Weiss and Olli Jokinen days in Florida. They were a joke, and Bill Zito, along with the entire franchise, has changed the culture completely and have now made it the destination to come play hockey. Now, on the other side is the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl may never get a good night's sleep again, knowing that there's a possibility that they may not reach the Cup final yet again. It's so hard to get back to that point, and unfortunately, I now believe that Corey Perry is also cursed because this guy has lost 5 Cup finals in the last 6 years. No wonder he's 800 years old. All those losses are aging the man rapidly. But the Oilers as a whole do have a ton of decisions to make. The first thing is that everyone's going to look towards solving the goalie position. Skinner is either prime Carey Price or a glorified shooter-tutor, and I think the inconsistency of his play is something that Edmonton will want to address going into next year. The whole juggling act of going between your backup and starter in the Cup Finals isn't ideal, and it's something that they'll likely address in the offseason. However, the bottom line wasn't just Stuart Skinner. Just from top to bottom, the Panthers are deeper, and as a team, they execute better than anyone I've ever seen. As the series went on, the Oilers became more and more reliant on the McDraisaitl combo than their overall depth. It just shows you how important a team is over individual talent. The two best players on planet Earth couldn't get a sniff because they were met by an unstoppable team. In hockey, there's only so much a few superstars can do. It takes 18 skaters every night to win, and the Panthers showed that.
I think the Panthers going to three-peat, bro. It might be a real chance that they three-peat. So I hope not, bro. Three-peat is crazy, bro. Y'all just won the last two, bro. Y'all need somebody else to get the championship, bro. Somebody else gotta win it, bro. Y'all can't win 3 in a row. Like, that's just unacceptable. I'm sorry, bro. I can't allow that to happen.
That firsthand. Now, there's also a lot of major moves to be addressed as well for Edmonton. McDavid can get an extension on July 1st. Evan Bouchard is an RFA, and only 6 players are under contract beyond next season. As for McDavid and his legacy, the pressure of being the best player to maybe ever touch the ice and still be missing the ultimate goal of the Stanley Cup is just a tough pill to swallow. I don't doubt that McDavid can make it back for another crack at a cup, but there is a possibility that we may never see it again, and that makes this loss all the more devastating for the Oilers, their fans, and McDavid himself. So, what did you think of the Cup final and the season?
It was good.
What's next for both of these teams? Are the Panthers officially a dynasty? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down
I seen
below.
One of y'all in the comments said that they not officially like a dynasty until they win like 3 or 4. What is y'all definition of a dynasty? I mean, they won back-to-back, though. Back-to-back is crazy, bro. You feel me? Back-to-back. You know how hard it is to go there? If they win the third, bro, I feel like it's no question about it. Like, they definitely a dynasty, man. But hopefully I enjoy my reaction. Like I said, hockey reaction is still going to go on the channel in the off-season. Just going to react to, like, throwback games and all that. I think the only thing on the channel really we going to be is baseball and throwback hockey games and WNBA. Other than that, until September when football comes back, that's what we're going to be doing for the channel, man. But hopefully I enjoy the reaction, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.